You've cried long enough. You've struggled long enough. You've prayed, fasted, believed, waited, hoped, and still the storm hasn't broken. I see you. You've asked the heavens, God, where are you in all of this? When will this end? How much more must I take? But today, I came to tell you something that will lift your spirit off the ground and set your soul on fire. I came to speak a word straight into the valley you've been crawling through. God will close your chapter of hardship soon. Say that to yourself out loud. Let the words fall fresh on your weary heart. Let the hope begin to rise again. God will close your chapter of hardship soon. Sometimes hardship feels like isolation, like being dropped into a vast wilderness with no map, no voice, no exit in sight. You look around and wonder, why me? Why now? You see others walking in joy while you're dragging yourself through sorrow. But listen carefully. You are not forgotten. God has not turned His back on you. He's not punishing you. He's not ignoring your prayers. In fact, He's heard every single one. The ones whispered through your tears. The ones you couldn't even put into words. The groans of your spirit when your lips couldn't form a sentence. He caught all of them. Heaven was never silent. It was simply working in stealth. The same God who fed Elijah in the wilderness, who made a way through the Red Sea, who closed the mouths of lions for Daniel. He is still the same God today. The same God who restored Job, who delivered Joseph, who stood in the fire with Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. He's standing in the fire with you. Now let me remind you of something that hell hopes you forget. Every storm has a finish line. Every night eventually gives way to morning. Every drought ends. Every season passes. In your current season, this chapter of struggle, pain, and waiting is not your final chapter. It may feel like it's lasted an eternity, but it has an expiration date. This sorrow will not have the final word over your life. This darkness will not suffocate your dreams. The enemy wants you to believe that your hardship is permanent, but he is a liar. God's word declares, weeping may endure for a night, but joy cometh in the morning, and the morning is near. There's purpose in the pain. It's hard to see it now. When you're in the middle of the fire, you don't see the gold being refined. When you're in the middle of the test, you don't know how much strength you're gaining. But make no mistake, your pain is not wasted. God is using every tear, every delay, every disappointment. You are not being punished. You are being prepared. He is shaping you, molding you, stretching you, not to break you, but to build you. He's building character. He's building endurance. He's building you into someone who can handle the blessing coming your way. Because here's what most people forget. The next chapter requires a new version of you. You can't carry old wounds into a new season. You can't carry the weight of bitterness into a door of promise. So sometimes the hardship comes not to destroy but to transform. You're not being buried in this trial. You're being planted. And when the time is right, you will bloom. It might seem like God is running late, that He should have stepped in months ago, that He should have opened that door already, that He should have healed, restored, delivered already. But remember, God is never late. His timing is always perfect, even when we can't understand it. Lazarus was dead for 4 days. Everyone thought it was over. But when Jesus showed up, He didn't say, I'm sorry, I'm late. He said, I am the resurrection and the life. He didn't come to make excuses. He came to make miracles. He came to prove that even what's dead can live again. So I say this over your life. What looks dead will breathe again. What looks lost will be restored. What looks broken will be healed. You thought it was the end, but God is just getting started. Don't let the silence fool you. Don't let the delay deceive you. Just because you don't see movement doesn't mean nothing is happening. God does some of His greatest work in the dark. Seeds don't sprout in sunlight. They sprout in soil, in hiddenness, in quiet. That's where God does His deepest work. So take heart, because behind the scenes, God is aligning people, shifting circumstances, and preparing the next chapter of your life. And when it unfolds, it won't be small. It won't be mediocre. It will be greater than you imagine. There's a breakthrough coming. I feel it. I speak it. I declare it over you. A shift is about to happen. The weight you've been carrying is about to be lifted. The season of lack is coming to an end. The drought is breaking. The blessing is being released. You're about to walk into what you've been praying for. You fought hard. You've kept going when quitting would have been easier. You've stood when you wanted to collapse. You've praised when you wanted to cry. You've kept your faith alive in a dark place. And God has seen every step. He's counted every tear. Not one of them was wasted. You're not forgotten. You're not forsaken. You're not overlooked. You're favored. Yes, the enemy tried to stop you. He tried to break you. He threw everything he could at you. But you're still standing. You're still breathing. You're still believing. That's proof enough. Proof that God's hand is on you. That His plan is still in motion. Let me speak to the weary soul today. You've been carrying so much. And maybe you're tired. Tired of fighting, tired of hoping, tired of hearing soon and not seeing it. Tired of feeling like you're stuck while everyone else is moving forward. But even in your exhaustion, there is a promise. Come to me, all who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest. You don't have to carry this alone. God is your refuge, your fortress, your safe place. In the shadow of His wings, there is peace. In the midst of chaos, He gives calm. He is not a God who only shows up in mountaintops. He meets you in the valley, in the hospital room, in the quiet of your bedroom, in the car when you break down and cry. Right there, He is with you. This chapter of hardship will not define you. It is a place you are passing through. You're not pitching a tent in pain. You're walking through it. You're crossing over. And on the other side, there is a promised land. There is healing. There is provision. There is purpose. There is a new level of faith. There is a deeper intimacy with God. And one day, very soon, you'll look back on this chapter not with bitterness, but with awe. You'll say, it was hard, but He brought me through. It hurt, but I grew. I didn't understand it, but now I see it. You're writing a testimony. Your survival is proof that God is real. Your endurance is proof that His grace is sufficient. You didn't fold. You didn't faint. And you're about to flourish. There is beauty waiting on the other side of this storm. There is laughter coming to replace the tears. There is joy returning to your mornings. There is peace that surpasses understanding headed your way. And when it comes, it will come suddenly. Just like Joseph went from prison to palace in a single day. Just like Ruth went from widow to bride overnight. Just like Peter went from denying to preaching in a moment. That's how God works. Suddenly, powerfully, unexpectedly. Get ready. Start preparing. Clean your heart. Lift your eyes. Because the chapter is closing. The curtain is lifting. The night is ending. The chains are breaking. The burden is being lifted. God is doing a new thing. You've mourned long enough. You've waited long enough. You've wondered long enough. The chapter of hardship is being shut, and the next page is dripping with promise. Don't be surprised when the call comes, when the opportunity opens, when the healing happens, when the relationship is restored. Don't be shocked. You've been sowing. You've been faithful. You've been obedient. And God is not unjust. He rewards those who seek Him. So step into it. Walk boldly. Praise early. Rejoice before the rain comes. You're not in the valley to stay. You're passing through it to get to the mountain. And from that mountain, you'll look down and see the path that brought you here. You'll lift your hands and say, if it had not been for the Lord on my side, and you will know that the God who closed the chapter of hardship was writing a new one the entire time, one of joy, peace, purpose, and victory, and it starts now. We serve a God of suddenly, a God who speaks and the winds obey, a God who touches and the sick are healed, a God who calls and the dead rise. He doesn't need weeks or years to perform a miracle. He needs a single moment. And when that moment comes, it doesn't matter how long you've been waiting. It doesn't matter what the odds are. When God says it's time, everything changes. Think of Joseph. One day he was a prisoner, falsely accused and forgotten. The next, he was standing before Pharaoh, interpreting dreams and being placed second in command over all of Egypt. It didn't happen gradually. It happened suddenly. The years of struggle didn't disappear, but they were transformed in a moment when God opened the door. Or consider the story of Peter. He spent a long night fishing and caught nothing. Exhausted and likely discouraged, he obeyed Jesus' instruction to cast the net one more time. In a single moment, the net overflowed with fish. What had been a night of emptiness turned into a morning of abundance. Just like that. That's the nature of breakthrough. It often comes when you least expect it, and it rarely looks like what you imagine. It doesn't follow your calendar. It doesn't consult your feelings. It shows up in God's perfect timing and in His perfect way. Sometimes right when you're about to give up, right when you've run out of strength, God steps in and says, now. That's why you can't stop believing. You can't let the delay make you doubt. Just because it hasn't happened yet doesn't mean it won't. Your situation may look the same on the outside, but heaven could be preparing your miracle right now. And in a moment, just one touch, one open door, one phone call, one encounter, it could all change. Breakthrough doesn't mean you never had a battle. It means the battle didn't win. It means God showed up and turned the tide. So stay ready, stay faithful, stay in position, keep your heart expectant. Because the same God who showed up suddenly for Joseph, for Peter, for Paul and Silas in prison, He's the same God who is working in your life. And when He says it's time, no force in hell can stop what He's about to do. Your breakthrough is not just coming, it's coming suddenly. Holding on through the storm, even when you're tired and uncertain, is a powerful act of faith. It's easy to trust God when the skies are clear and the path is smooth. But real faith is forged in the storm. In the late nights when answers don't come. In the quiet moments when heaven seems silent. And in the days when you're walking through life carrying more than your heart feels it can bear. That's where endurance is born. Not in ease, but in resistance. Not in comfort, but in commitment. Faith isn't just about believing for the miracle. It's about still believing when the miracle hasn't come. It's waking up and choosing to trust even when you feel like giving up. It's continuing to pray even when your prayers seem unanswered. Showing up, standing firm, lifting your hands in worship when all you want to do is collapse in defeat. That's the kind of faith that moves heaven. God never promised the road would be easy. In fact, He told us plainly that trials would come, that we would face difficulty. But He also said, take heart, for I have overcome the world. Endurance isn't weakness, it's strength. It's what separates those who give up from those who step into their destiny. The ones who endure, who stay the course, who keep the faith, who fight the good fight. Those are the ones who see the promises of God fulfilled. Sometimes endurance looks like boldness. Other times it looks like barely hanging on. But either way, God sees it. He honors it. The ones who hold on are the ones who are about to see the breakthrough. Hebrews tells us that without faith, it is impossible to please God. And faith, real faith, is not a quick spark of emotion. It's a long obedience in the same direction. It's persistence in the face of pain. It's staying rooted when everything around you is shaky. Think of Noah building the ark when no one believed him, enduring ridicule and waiting on rain that had never fallen before. Think of Abraham trusting in a promise for decades, holding on through disappointment. Think of the woman with the issue of blood pushing through the crowd for one more chance. These weren't stories of instant success. They were stories of sustained belief, of unshakable endurance. God is not looking for perfection. He's looking for perseverance. He knows you'll get tired. He knows your heart will ache. But He's asking you to keep going, not in your strength, but in His. He's asking you to trust that the same hand that started the work will finish it. That the same grace that brought you this far will carry you the rest of the way. So when you're weary, rest in Him. When you're overwhelmed, lean on His promises. And when you feel like you have nothing left, remember that even the smallest seed of faith can move mountains. Faith that endures is faith that overcomes. And God always rewards those who remain faithful, especially when it would have been easier to quit. Keep holding on. Your endurance is not in vain. The pain of this season is not the end of your story. It may feel like everything you've known is crumbling, like the future is uncertain and like the weight of the world is bearing down on you. But let me remind you, your current chapter is not the final chapter. This moment, no matter how heavy, is only a part of a much greater story that is still unfolding. God is the master writer, and He is in control of every page. Just because your story is in the middle of a painful, difficult, or confusing chapter doesn't mean it's over. It's just a chapter, and every story has its twists and turns. There are highs and lows, light and darkness, joy and sorrow. But the beauty of it all is that the story is still being written. And what you're going through now, though hard, is just a prelude to something better. Think about the chapters in your life that brought you joy, peace, or success. They didn't come without their own struggles, but you made it through those, and today they are just part of the beautiful story that has brought you to this moment. The pain you feel right now is setting you up for the breakthrough ahead. The heartache is part of the healing. The struggle is part of the strength, and the waiting is part of the reward. God is taking all of these experiences and weaving them together into something far greater than you can currently imagine. No matter how long or painful your current struggle is, it has an expiration date. You may feel like this hardship has taken over your entire life, like the weight of it has become part of your identity. It might seem like the darkness has lasted too long, like morning will never come. But let me reassure you, this will not last forever. The storm that's raging around you will pass. The burden you're carrying will be lifted. The sleepless nights, the unanswered questions, the quiet tears, none of it is permanent. You are walking through a valley, but you are not meant to stay there. It is a place of passage, not a place of residence. Pain has a way of making time feel slower. Days drag on and weeks feel like months when your heart is heavy. But no matter how it feels, God has already written the ending. There is a chapter ahead that's already waiting for you, filled with peace, joy, and restoration. It may not look like it now, but God is closer than He seems. He's not watching from afar. He's walking with you through it. Every tear you've cried has been noticed. Every sigh of weariness has been heard. And in due time, He will step in and bring you out. The enemy wants to convince you that this is how life will always be, that you'll never feel joy again, that things won't change. But that's a lie. The truth is, God is a God of timing. He knows how long to allow the fire to refine without letting it destroy. He knows the exact moment when to bring you out stronger, wiser, more grounded in Him. His delays are not denials. His silence is not absent. Sometimes the greatest growth is happening in the most silent seasons. Don't lose hope because of how things appear. What you see is not the full story. Just as the seasons change in nature, the season you're in will shift. Spring follows winter. Joy follows sorrow. Healing follows brokenness. And God will turn the page when the time is right. He has not forgotten you. He has not left you behind. He's preparing something far greater than you can imagine. And what feels like a long wait now will one day make perfect sense. Keep walking. Keep trusting. Keep believing that the God who started a good work in you is faithful to complete it. One day you'll look back and realize that the valley wasn't forever, that the struggle was temporary, and that God was writing a beautiful ending all along. You will not stay in this hardship forever. The chapter will close. And when it does, you'll step into something greater than the pain you've endured. Even in silence and darkness, God is present. It may not always feel like it. There are seasons where you pray and it feels like your words vanish into the air. You seek answers and hear nothing. You beg for a sign, for direction, for relief, and all you're met with is more silence. It's in those moments that doubt creeps in and tries to whisper, God has forgotten you, but that is not the truth. The silence of God is never the absence of God. He's closer than you think, working in the shadows, orchestrating things for your good in ways you cannot yet see. There's a kind of silence that feels heavy, especially when you're in pain. You ask, where are you, Lord? And the heavens feel closed. You look around and wonder why others seem to be moving forward while you feel stuck. You question if your prayers are being heard. But Scripture tells us that not even a sparrow falls to the ground without the Father knowing. How much more then is He aware of your suffering, your broken heart? You are not forgotten. Every tear you cried has been seen. Every sleepless night has been recorded. Every whispered prayer has been heard. Even if the answer hasn't come yet, God's love is not proven by how fast He moves, but by the fact that He is a Father who sits with you in the storm, who holds you even when you don't feel Him, and who carries you when you can no longer walk. Think of the story of Joseph, sold by his brothers, thrown into a pit, falsely accused, locked in prison. For years it seemed like God was nowhere in sight, but behind the scenes God was setting the stage for a greater plan. And when the time was right, Joseph went from prison to palace in a single day. What looked like abandonment was actually divine positioning. And the same God who remembered Joseph remembers you. Sometimes God hides you before He elevates you. Sometimes He allows silence so that your roots grow deeper, so that your faith grows stronger, so that you learn to depend on Him and not on the noise of the world. Silence doesn't mean you're lost. It often means you're being shaped, molded, refined. Say, hold on. Though it may be quiet now, breakthrough is coming. Though you may feel alone, you're not. The God of all creation knows your name. He sees your pain. He walks with you through the valley. Even when you don't feel His footsteps beside you, you are not forgotten. Not today, not tomorrow, not ever. His eye is still on you. His hand is still guiding you. His heart is still for you. And in due time, the silence will break. The light will return. And you will see that He was with you every step of the way. Every trial you face is shaping you, preparing you, and growing you. It may not feel that way in the moment. In fact, it rarely does. Pain has a way of making us feel stuck, confused, and even abandoned. But God never allows suffering without purpose. There is meaning behind every tear, every disappointment, every closed door. In God's hands, pain becomes a tool, not to destroy you, but to develop you. Sometimes we pray for strength, and God allows circumstances that build it. We pray for patience, and we find ourselves waiting longer than we ever expected. We ask for faith, and we walk through seasons where we can't see or understand anything. These aren't punishments. They are answers. They are the process by which God refines us, just as gold is refined in fire. Without the heat, the impurities would never rise to the surface. Without the pressure, the diamond would never form. And without the pain, some of the most beautiful parts of who we are would never emerge. Pain is a teacher. It reveals what's really inside of us. It uncovers strength we didn't know we had. It humbles us, draws us closer to God, and reminds us that we are not in control. It teaches us to rely on God's grace, to cling to His promises, and to look for His hand even when we can't see His face. Through trials, we learn perseverance. Through waiting, we learn to trust. Through loss, we learn what truly matters. God never wastes pain. He always uses it. Every scar becomes a story. Every setback becomes a